Hey there, and welcome to Beeswax and Wicks. My name is Leah, and I have been making beeswax candles at home for 4 years. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make your own beeswax candles and how to make them only using beeswax and a couple other ingredients. Let's get started. First things first, we are going to look at our beeswax. My beeswax I bought off of Amazon. Here's the label. I'm going to link to it in the description box below. I like this one just because it is a 10 pound box of beeswax, and it helps make a lot of candles without having to pay as much as you would per pound, which is nice. And beeswax pellets, if you're not familiar, this is what they look like. I'm also going to show you the candle containers we're going to be using. They're from Arts and Crafts, which I will link to in the description box as well. I really like these candles. I've been using them for 2 years, the candle tins for 2 years now. We're going to be making apple cider scented ones in these red, really pretty red tins. And this is my label for them. This is what they'll look like once they're all finished. Some of the other candle supplies I'll be using today is a pair of very sharp scissors. You'll need these for cutting the wicks after the candles are done setting up. I'm going to be using a pair of old chopsticks. I've just been using these for a really long time with my candles, so they have a little bit of wax on them. But I'm going to be using those to keep the wicks in place. And then, of course, candle wicks themselves with tabs on the bottom. These are from Eric X Light. I've been using these candle wicks for a very long time. These are hemp and beeswax, and I like these just because they burn really brightly. I'll be linking those in the description box as well. Another thing is that if you are making scented candles, you can use essential oils in your candles. This is one of the ones that I'm going to be using today. I'm not going to show you all of them, but that's one of the ones. I usually use now oils for my candles, but you can use any essential oils or fragrance oils that you want to. The next thing you are going to want is going to be a pot and something you can use as a double boiler. This is a perfectly good setup for beginner candle makers, and there's no reason that you need anything fancier than this. I bought both of these at my local craft store for maybe $9 or $10 and $15 to $20. Alright, now the first thing you're going to want to do before you start making your candles is we need to add our wax into the double boiler. So you can see here I have 4 candles. These are all 8-ounce candles I'm going to be making tonight, and we're going to fill them up. I keep this small tin. This is what I used to make my candles with in the beeswax, because this is a 8-ounce candle tin as well. These are 8-ounce candle tins, so whenever you're making beeswax candles, you need almost twice as much beeswax as you would to just fill up this tin dry. So this is about the first, whenever I start making my candles, I always measure up to about this point here on the inside of the lid. And most candles have something like that because that's how far the lid sits down on the candle. So I fill the wax up to about that point, and then I'll dump it in. And then for the second time, it'll be filled up a little bit lower than that. So like about halfway up the tin, I'd say. And I'll do this for every single candle. So since I'm making 4, I'll do it 4 times. We're back in the kitchen, and you can see that I have filled up my pot about 1/3 of the way with water, and we're just going to light that, and we're going to set the double boiler in the pot of water. It may tip over a little bit. It looks like it's okay. There's not too much water in the pot to start out with, so if you put the water up higher, like halfway, sometimes it'll do this thing instead of sitting nicely on the bottom. And it's okay, you just kind of have to watch it and make sure that it doesn't spill if you have too much beeswax in there. So now we just wait. While we're waiting for the beeswax to melt, we're going to place the wicks in each of them. might also need to be moved a little bit after and during pouring of the candles because they will shift a little bit and move just a tiny bit while you're pouring the wax, and then need to be recentered afterwards. Quick side note while the beeswax is melting, if you want to use coconut oil in your beeswax candles, there are a few benefits to doing that. But you'll find a full blog post about the benefits and how much to add in the description box below. I'll put that information there for you. Also, just want to give you guys a quick look at what beeswax looks like while it's melting. It'll slowly get liquidy, but it'll have chunks in it like this for a little while. So right now the beeswax is just about fully melted. We are going to get ready to add our oils. So we have our orange oil here like I showed you before, and we're just going to, for me, I usually add about 25 to 50 drops of oil. So we're going to get started with that. You can see that that oil poured out really fast. That's not always the case with all essential oils. And now we're going to pour our candles. And now all we have to do is wait for the candles to set up. This is what they look like while they're setting. So one thing that I do want to note is that while a lot of candle makers have different ways of setting the candles and adding the oils and doing all of this stuff and using thermometers, candle thermometers to measure the wax. When you're just starting out as a beginner candle maker, you just want to get the basics down.